New York City kind of has its own language. And I'm not talking about Spanish or some language that was brought by a recent immigrant community. I'm talking about a distinct English-based language. I know what you're thinking. Obviously, a lot of New Yorkers have a different accent, but I can still understand it for the most part. It's not a different language. But what I'm talking about here is more of a language within a language. In linguistics, we sometimes talk about acrolects, mesolects, and basilects. And this is kind of a way to talk about the different levels of formality that exist within a single language. This idea is often useful when talking about Creole languages. So for instance, in Jamaica, full-blown Jamaican patois would be like a basilect, and then standard Jamaican English would be the acrolect. And there's a bunch of different intermediate varieties in between. And many linguists consider full Jamaican patois to be a separate language from English. But I think this idea is useful outside of the context of Creole languages too. So for instance, you could kind of plot New York English speakers on a basilect to acrolect scale. So for instance, somebody at the top might be speaking the same English you'd hear anywhere else in the United States, but somebody in the middle might be doing a little bit of vowel breaking like coffee, or like R dropping like water. Forgive me if I don't capture the New Yorkness perfectly with those words. But the point is, most people are somewhere in between the basilect and the acrolect, so we don't often see full-blown basilectic New York City English. But all of the features required to create that exist in different varieties with different speakers. So for any accent, you can kind of imagine what the pure basilectic form of that would be. And you could even extrapolate it further by extending the trends that you see as you go down from an acrolect to a basilect. So vowels get more nasalized as you go down, and then eventually you have full-blown nasal vowels like French. Other features that could be taken to an extreme are like vowel breaking, R dropping, intrusive R's, TH stopping, or just vocabulary trends that are only seen in New York City and nowhere else. Obviously, anything really extreme is kind of theoretical, and there'd be a lot of dialectal diversity if you got really basilectic, but it's interesting to think about. Because for any accent, there's a lot of shared underlying non-standard forms that we kind of perceive as being part of the language, but technically they're their own thing. People just happen to be good at knowing when and how it benefits them to use these forms.